Literally just yesterday, we saw Silicon Valley Bank fail and collapse. The FDIC is involved. Regulators are taking over the bank. And there's a lot of people worried about their money because, after all, 97% of their money at that bank is uninsured, not covered under FDIC. And even though this just happened just one day ago, we're already seeing the ripple effects of the problems arising from one bank going under. I mean, all in all, it is a pretty important bank, right? It's a pretty big bank, and the big thing that they're involved in is startups. I think they're responsible for like 50% of startups. They have 50% of startups' money in their bank, so obviously massive problems for those startup companies. They're worried that they are going to not be able to make payroll for their companies to pay their employees because their money is just frozen and locked up right now. I mean, if you want to see a list of these companies here that are affected, with lots of money in this bank, here's a top 10. You got Circle with over 3.3 billion, Roku with almost $500 million, BlockFi, Roblox, Ginkgo, iRhythm, Rocket Lab, Sangamo, Lending Club, and Payoneer. So this is just a list of companies that have a good amount of money in here, right? And these are all not insured. We're going to focus on Circle in this video because the stable coins are actually getting kind of crazy. Obviously, $3.3 billion locked up in your bank account that you can't access. Not great for stable coins, but all these other companies as well. I mean, Roku, maybe they can weather $500 million going missing for a longer period of time. They're probably the biggest company in this whole thing, but Roblox probably fine. No, I don't think they're going to worry about this money, but there's a lot of startups that have their money in here that they're not going to be able to access. They're not going to be able to pay their payroll. They're not going to be able to invest in R&D. They're not going to be able to grow their company, run their company. And that's obviously a big problem. And if you want to list on really like a lot of these companies that are involved with this bank, here's this list. There's a ton of big companies here that I'm sure you've heard of. Obviously, I mean, even Tesla's in this list. So there's big companies, small companies, tons of notable companies involved in this bank. But if we look at Circle, the stablecoin, this is what they had to say about their exposure to this bank, saying Silicon Valley Bank is one of 6 banking partners Circle uses, managing the about 25% portion of USDC reserves held in cash, while we await clarity on how the FDIC receivership of SVB will impact its depositors. Circle and USD continue to operate normally. So it's all well and good, right? Trying to calm the storm, make people a little bit ease on them so that it's not crazy panic, because if Circle has a bank run right now too, they wouldn't be in the best spots right now with 25% of their cash locked up. And they went further into the specifics here, saying the confirmation at the end of today that the wires initiated on Thursday to remove balances were not yet processed. So $3.3 billion of the about 40 billion of USD reserves remain at SVB. So that's $3.3 billion that is stuck frozen in this bank account until regulators somehow sell off the assets. Who knows how long that could take, and who knows how much money you're going to end up actually getting back. And as a result of this, you can see USDC trading for less than $1 right now at 95 cents. And that's actually up from, it got all the way down to 87 cents last night, early in the morning, and then it kind of rallied back. So maybe, you take a bet on this and hope that it can go back to $1, and right now you'd make some money. But a lot of people are losing faith, a lot of people pulling out. And will USDC be able to weather the storm and not have to worry about, not being able to honor their one-to-one for redemptions, right? If you can't send one USDC and get $1, then the whole kind of point of this stablecoin is done. So it will be interesting to follow this and see what happens. I mean, you can see this volume, $26 billion in volume, up 258% in the day. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of panic, a lot of people pulling the money out of USDC, a lot of people putting it into Tether and stuff. So, and even worse for USD, or maybe better for them, right? Their reactions to this from the big exchanges like Coinbase said they're temporarily pausing the USDC and USD conversions over the weekend while the banks are closed. During periods of heightened activity, conversions rely on USD transfers. So yada yada, they talked about this. And this is really, really bad for Coinbase because they went all in on USDC. I think they're partnered with Circle. They stopped allowing like Tether to be traded. They went all in on USDC, wanted everyone to switch from Tether to USDC. And now this is happening where the peg's lost, it's depegged, money is frozen in a bank account, and they're hoping that they can weather this storm so that they don't get, obliterated and disappear and people lose faith. That's the biggest problem right now, is you don't want people to lose faith in your one-to-one conversion, because once that happens, it doesn't matter if you have a one-to-one conversion. If people don't believe you do, then your coin's going to be useless. And also from Circle, the response saying it will cover any shortfall using corporate resources involving external capital if necessary. So I guess they're going to raise money if they need to somehow. I mean, it's not easy to raise money right now, right? So that would be tough already. Or maybe if they make money. I don't know Circle's exact business model, or if they're profitable, if they make money and stuff, but maybe they have enough money they think they can weather this and not have to be impacted by their bank account being frozen. But I personally wouldn't take that. I wouldn't sit in Circle and USDC and hope that everything works out. I would get out and not want to be involved with them right now. And it doesn't even stop at Coinbase. Also, you have Binance that temporarily suspended the conversion of USDC to BUSD due to current market conditions specifically related to high inflows and the increasing burden to support the conversion. So even Binance stopped redeeming or converting USDC to Binance stablecoin. Coinbase stopped it. Maybe that helped USDC and Circle, right? Maybe that stopped people from being able to panic. Even if you were panicking, you couldn't convert out. And that might explain this right here, where you had this kind of down here where it got down to 87 cents for a USDC, which it's supposed to be 1-to-1 to the US dollar. Maybe that explains the rally here, because people just, or these big exchanges simply shut off the conversion and you couldn't convert. So if you can't sell, the price can't go down. You can't depeg it more. But that is one of the major ripple effects of this bank falling. It's the 16th largest bank with $210 billion in deposits. And it's already, you can already see 1 day into it failing, you already see all these things going wrong. Circle USDC depegged. You're seeing a bunch of startups saying they don't know if they're going to be able to make payroll in the next 30 days. They don't know if they're going to be able to pay their employees. You're seeing the startups as well who just raised money saying, we can't get our money. We just raised this and we can't get the money to research and development, to grow the company, to pay employees. So there's your problem. You got startups that are worried about what's going on. They don't have access to their money. Stable coins, they don't have access to their money. They're depegging. They're in crazy terms. And the rest of the banking system also probably a little worried to not want to incite panic, because if there's a bank run on any bank, it fails. And we'll end this off with Bill Ackman talking about this. He has said that the government has about 48 hours to fix a soon-to-be irreversible mistake by allowing Silicon Valley Bank to fail without protecting all depositors. The world has woken up to what an uninsured deposit is, an unsecured illiquid claim on a failed bank. Which, if you're in crypto, if you're in Bitcoin, not your keys, not your coins. I mean, the same thing kind of works for banks, right? Not your bank, not your money. If it's the bank's money, and if the bank fails and you're over the FDIC limit, your money's up in the air. It's frozen. Maybe you'll get it back. Maybe not. Who knows when it'll happen either. But this is kind of funny too, because I think a lot of these guys, I don't know about Bill Ackman. I know Mark Cuban was complaining about SVB failing, saying that the Fed needs to bail them out. But it turns out that he has an account in SVB, so he has money there. So if they bailed him out, he would save his money. So it's like there's a lot of conflict of interest, right? So if a bank fails, it should fail. If the bank has terrible management, it should fail. You shouldn't have all these bailout plans so that you're protected, the billionaires are protected, and then the middle class, the taxpayers, have to bail everything out. You have 2008 all over again. But we're 1 day into this bank failure, already seeing so many things going on, so many problems, so many people complaining, and I think it's only going to get worse. So hopefully this isn't like a contagion. Hopefully it doesn't spread to other banks and we see more failures. But right now, if you were to see that, I think it's something like 50% of bank accounts are over FDIC insurance. So they're uninsured. And maybe people are going to wake up to that And the idea of Bitcoin becomes a lot more viable as something that isn't uninsured and no counterparty risk. You don't have to worry about someone freezing your Bitcoin account and failing. You do have to worry about the bank doing that, though. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.